I think I finally hit the wall because of a grocery bag. Not a fight. Not cheating. Not one huge betrayal. A grocery bag. I'm 32, and for most of my adult life, I have been the reliable one. The one who answers. The one who drives. The one who rearranges her day. The one who says, it's fine, even when it absolutely is not fine. I used to think that meant people trusted me. Now I think it means people learned I was useful. My boyfriend Evan and I have been together for almost 3 years. He is 34. He is not cruel. That is what makes this hard to explain. He respects my space. He doesn't yell. He doesn't control what I do. He tells me he loves me, but I don't think he is curious about me. Not really. Evan can talk for hours about his world, his job, his fantasy football league, the model kits he builds, the shows he watches, the podcast he listens to, every tiny detail of a game he played 10 years ago. And I listen. Not politely. Actually listen. I ask questions. I remember names. I bought him storage shelves for his model pieces because I noticed he kept losing small parts. I learned enough about his favorite game to understand what he meant when he complained about a patch. Because that is what love looks like to me. You enter someone's world a little. But when I talk about my world, I can feel him waiting for his turn. My writing class, my work projects, my garden, my weird obsession with restoring old furniture, the book I stayed up too late reading. He nods. Sometimes he says, "That's nice." Then 5 minutes later, he is talking about himself again. For a long time, I blamed his schedule. He works a demanding job. He has been taking extra shifts. He is tired, so I gave him grace, then more grace, then 9 months of grace. At some point, grace started feeling like an excuse I was making for him because I was scared of what the truth might be. The truth is that he likes being loved by me. I am not sure he likes knowing me. At the same time, my family has been draining me from the other side. My parents live 15 minutes away. I have 2 kids from my previous marriage. Mia is 7. Caleb is 4. Their dad works out of state half the month, so most of the time it is just me. School runs, appointments, work, meals, homework, bedtime, and everything else. I work from home 4 days a week, but somehow that has made people think I am available all the time. A few months ago, my car died. My dad sold me their old SUV for a reduced price. Not gave. Sold. And I was grateful. It needed repairs, but I still felt lucky because I needed a vehicle immediately. We agreed I would pay him monthly until it was paid off. I gave him a big first payment, got insurance, registration, repairs, everything. The SUV is in my name. I am responsible for it. But the minute I had that car, my parents started treating it like a family service vehicle. At first, it was small. Can you grab milk on your way? Can you drop this off? Can you swing by the pharmacy? Little things. I did them because they were my parents. Then the little things became errands. Then errands became obligations. Then obligations became expectations. My younger brother got suspended from his school and had to attend a temporary program 45 minutes away. My mom asked if I could take him for 3 days while she helped my grandmother. I said yes. Of course I said yes. 3 days was manageable. It was early mornings, gas money, rearranging my work calls, getting my kids dressed earlier, packing breakfast in the car, rushing back home to log in on time. But it was family, so I helped. Then 3 days became the next week. Then the week after that. Suddenly, every morning, I was expected to drive my brother across town while my mother stayed home. When I asked about gas money, my dad said, "Well, we helped you with the SUV." I said, "You sold me the SUV. I'm still paying you." He said, "Don't get technical." That phrase made something in me tighten. Don't get technical. Meaning, don't mention the part where this arrangement is unfair. I tried talking to Evan about it. I said, "I feel like everyone is pulling from me right now." He was sanding a tiny piece of one of his models. He didn't look up. He said, "Yeah, that sounds stressful." Then he told me about how the paint on the model was drying unevenly. I stared at him. I think that was the first time I realized how lonely I felt next to someone. A week later, everything came together in the worst way. It was a Thursday. I had already driven my brother to the program, dropped Caleb at preschool, answered emails from a parking lot, picked up prescriptions for my mother, and taken Mia to the dentist. I still had work to finish. I still had laundry waiting. I still had not eaten lunch. My mother called while I was carrying grocery bags into the house. She said, "Can you go back out and pick up your brother's friend too? His mom is stuck." I said, "No, I can't today." There was silence. Then she said, "Excuse me?" I said, I can't." She said, "You're already out." I looked down at the grocery bags cutting into my fingers. I said, "I'm home." She said, "Well, it's not like you have to go into an office." That sentence hit me harder than it should have, because there it was, the way everyone saw my life. Flexible, available, less real. I told her, "I work, I have children, I have my own responsibilities." She said, "We helped you with the car." I said, "You sold me the car." She said, "You sound ungrateful." I said, "No, I sound tired." Then she hung up on me. That night, Evan came over. I was quiet. He noticed that much. He asked, "What's wrong?" I told him everything. Not all at once, not dramatically, just the truth. That I feel used by my family. That I feel invisible in our relationship. That I keep learning about everyone else's life while nobody asks about mine. That I am tired of being loved only when I am convenient. He listened for maybe 2 minutes. Then he said, "I think you're just overwhelmed." I said, "Maybe, but that doesn't make it imaginary." He said, "I didn't say it was imaginary." I said, "You asked what was wrong, and the first thing you did was explain it away." He sighed. Then he said, "I don't know what you want me to say." I said, "I want you to care enough to ask a question." That was the first time I had said it out loud. He looked genuinely confused, not angry, confused. Like asking questions about me was not something he had considered as part of loving me. He said, "I care about you." I said, "You care that I'm here. That's different." He said, "That's unfair." I said, "No. Unfair is knowing everything about your hobbies while you can't name one thing I'm excited about this month." He got defensive. He said he works hard. He said he is tired. He said, "I know he is not good at emotional stuff." He said I should not compare how we show love. I said, "I'm not asking you to become me. I'm asking you to notice me." He didn't answer. The next morning, my dad called. He said my mother was upset. I said, "I'm not doing the school drive anymore unless it is planned in advance and paid for." He laughed once, not because it was funny, because he thought I was bluffing. He said, "So now you're charging family?" I said, "No, I'm refusing to be treated like free labor." He said, "We helped you when you needed a car." I said, "And I am paying for that car." He said, "You're becoming selfish." I said, "Maybe I'm just becoming unavailable." That sentence has stayed with me. Unavailable. It felt wrong and peaceful at the same time. Update 1. My mother did not speak to me for 4 days. Then she texted asking if I could pick something up from the store. No apology. No conversation. Just another request. I replied, "No." One word. I stared at it for 10 minutes before sending it. Then I sent it. The world did not end. Update 2. Evan and I had another conversation. I asked him to tell me 3 things I had mentioned recently that mattered to me. He named my kids, then my job. Then he stopped. I waited. He looked embarrassed. I did not rescue him from it. He said, "I didn't realize you felt this ignored." I said, "That is part of the problem. I've been saying it in smaller ways for months." He said, "I can try." I said, "I need more than trying after I'm already empty." That was hard to say, because I do love him. But love cannot survive if one person is always studying the other and never being studied back. Update 3. I don't know what will happen with Evan. I don't know if my parents will adjust or just keep calling me selfish. But I know I am done confusing usefulness with love. I am not a car service. I am not an emotional audience. I am not a background character in everyone else's life. If people only value me when I am making their lives easier, then maybe losing their approval is not the tragedy I thought it was. Maybe it is the first quiet thing I have done for myself in years.